Fender Stratocasters and Fender Mustangs are my top 2 favorite guitar models. About a year and a half ago, I introduced my Eric Strat. For a little while now, I had been wanting to make some changes to it, but it sat on the back burner as Nirvana builds took priority. But last month, I introduced you to Nightstang 1, my dream Fender Mustang, which is perfect in every way. Finishing up this build and discovering new mod options with it gave me the motivation and inspiration to revisit my Blackout Strat and to tweak it to be a better side-by-side tone companion to my Nightstang. One visual change in particular makes me now want to refer to this guitar as my E-Strat. In this video, I'm going to show you how I reimagined the possibilities of what a dream Fender Stratocaster can do, the changes I made to it, and how its versatility makes it a great guitar for everything from subdued jazz to rockabilly to Nirvana and to more modern sounding hard rock tones. This right here is what I started out with. A blackout Fender Player Stratocaster that was originally a Guitar Center exclusive finish. From what I can find online, it seems like this particular finish was only available for 2 years. If you know me, then you know my absolute weakness is white on white and especially black on black guitars. So I saw this for sale locally on Facebook Marketplace, and then once I saw that it also had an ebony fretboard, I was immediately sold. Straight up the most beautiful looking Strat I've ever laid eyes on. The only downside is that the stock pickups were pretty unremarkable in my opinion, so I immediately started planning out how I could make my dream Stratocaster come to life. These are my 3 favorite Stratocasters and the 3 inspirations behind this build. Buddy Holly's 1954 Sunburst Stratocaster, a first-year issue Strat that played a pivotal role in the development of early rock and roll. This may seem out of left field for the Nirvana guitars guy, but I am just as obsessed and influenced by Buddy's music and gear as I am with Kurt's. They are both on the same level for me. I've had some amazing experiences with connecting to Buddy's music, from visiting the final venue he played at, taking a tour of the studio where like 90% of his music was recorded, and one of the tour guides was Buddy's actual backing vocalist, and seeing the actual last Stratocaster that Buddy played at the Buddy Holly Center Museum in his hometown of Lubbock, Texas. There exists a signature model of his iconic 54 Strat that I will never own as it is extremely limited and extremely expensive. Then there is Kurt Cobain's Case Strat and his Vandalism Strat. I'm constantly going back and forth between which Casey sticker Strat I like more. I have builds of both of these and they're both really special to me. My Case Strat has an angled Seymour Duncan 59B humbucker that just sounds monstrous. I have many Nirvana Strats, but I can objectively say that this is the best sounding one. My vintage Vandalism, on the other hand, is one of my grails. As close as I can get to having a right-handed version of the Vandalism Strat as it was in its first form in the summer of 1991. Specifically, mine is modeled after Reading 91. It's got a 90s Seymour Duncan 59N humbucker that is super jangly and bright, 100% nails Kurt's various Vandalism tones. So, what happens when you take the look and color scheme of the Vandalism Strat and combine that with the cleans of Buddy's Strat and the distortion of Kurt's Case Strat, and then add in a bunch of modern features to take it to its full potential? You get the E-Strat. Let's start with the single coils. These are Fender Ventera 50s Stratocaster single coils. The stock MIJ single coils on my vintage Vandalism are to die for. They are so good. After comparing them side by side, I found that the Fender Ventera 60s single coils sound nearly identical to the stock 90s ST362 single coils, which is perfect for that Paramount poly sound. But for my own personal Strat, I wanted my single coils to have a little bit of a brighter sound and be more reminiscent of the 50s. So using that logic, I went with the Ventera 50s. No regrets here at all, as they're doing everything I hoped they would do, getting those crisp and classic Strat single coil tones. I'm saving my buddy samples for when I show you what I think are the best cleans this guitar has to offer, and where the first out-of-the-box mod comes in. Turning the third knob here, you get the tone control for both single coils, but it now has a push-push pot, where when it's clicked in, the neck pickup is now always on. I wanted this specifically to be able to be on the bridge humbucker, click this, and now have a pseudo telly-like middle position with these two pickups on. This mode right here, my absolute favorite cleans. The neck plus bridge cleans don't end there though. Turning the second knob controls the tone for the humbucker, but it is also push-push. When clicked in, a coil split is activated for the humbucker to get a single coil-like sound. So now, with having the pickup selector in the bridge position, and both of these clicked in to have the neck pickup on and the humbucker and coil split, I now get a sharper / edgier version of those cleans that you just heard. What you've heard thus far are easily my favorite cleans of my entire guitar collection. When I grab a Strat, it's honestly 50-50 whether I'm going to go for a distortion pedal or if I'm just going to play it through the amp by itself to get those super satisfying cleans. I admittedly don't use the second and fourth pickup positions very often, but for the sake of completion, I want to show you what those sound like too because they are both really great. The second position in particular gives off major Hendrix vibes. Okay, let's get heavier now as we talk about the bridge humbucker. Originally, I had a Seymour Duncan Custom 5 in here, which I liked initially, but eventually I found it to be rather dark and not quite getting the jangle that I would want my dream Strat to get. I've recently switched it out to a Seymour Duncan 59 Custom, and I'm very happy with this change. This is the humbucker that was in my prototype spec Jag Stang until recently. The 59 Custom is a hybrid. It's half Seymour Duncan 59 and half Seymour Duncan Custom. I also chose to have it angled this time as both a nod to Kurt's K-Strat and to give the high end a little more edge and to bring out the jangle more. The first knob is master volume, but as you probably have guessed by now, yes, it is also push-push. When clicked in, the 59 Custom is now disconnected from the tone pot, bringing in a little more high-end clarity that I feel like really complements the 59 side of this pickup. I'm right away hearing a big difference with this clicked in, particularly when I'm trying to get that Nirvana 1991 Strat jangle. But now let's leave the first knob not clicked in to get the standard sound of the 59 Custom. The high end is now smoothed over a little bit, which is great when I want to tame down that jangle and get something with a little more body to it. For a long time now, people have been begging me to play Green Day songs in my videos. And now with having a Strat with an angled humbucker like Blue, how can I not? And one last thing, something that an Eric guitar will always have is a kill switch. I initially had it in between the second and third knobs, which in retrospect was a silly decision. It was kind of awkward to get to. I've since had it moved to the lower horn where it is much more accessible. And that's it, my dream Fender Stratocaster reimagined and updated. I couldn't help but make some changes to this one after how perfect Nightstang 1 came out. I've been getting requests to do a shootout between these two, and now that the Strat changes are done, I will be doing that soon. Huge shout out and thank you to my amazing guitar tech, Jeff. Again, the person responsible for making this thing feel as good as it does and for it even existing in the first place. Jeff, you are seriously the man. You nail it every single time, and once again, I will never ever be able to thank you enough. Thank you so much for watching, and an extra special shout out to my Patreon supporters. Be sure to follow me on Instagram and TikTok at Nirvana Guitars. Subscribe right here on YouTube for more weekly gear videos like this, and I'll see you in the next one.